This is an IM83 from Norton. What this is a sharpening station. Now, you can buy this loaded with stones, I think. But this is, I just have the box itself. It's basically like a sharpening toolbox, I think is another thing they call this. But what this is it's a completely self-contained sharpening station for 8 by 3 by ½ inch water stones or oil stones. It's one of the Norton tri-stone or tri-hone systems. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You would open it. It has a handle. You can carry it. This is portable. It was a gift from a good friend of mine who knew that I needed a sharpening station for my woodworking. With this system, I can take all of my sharpening stones and my sharpening materials, and I can take them out to my bench and sit them. I have a little stand behind my bench. I can set this on, and it's a perfectly self-contained sharpening station that I can just move from the bench. It doesn't stay on the bench in the way, and it's not down in my tool chest where I have to dig for it. It's right out there, and I can just cover it when I'm not using it, and then lift this off, and all my stones are at the ready. It also has a bottom tray that right now holds the stones that I'm going to use. So we're going to, this will hold my strop. It will hold my oil rag, and it will hold my honing oil. So that everything goes to the bench with me. I have a chromium oxide crayon that will go in there as well. So we have a tri-stone system. The stones lock into this. So what we're going to do, I'm going to load these up. Starting from coarse to fine. This is a Norton medium India. It's my coarse stone. This stone and a black Arkansas is a traditional oil stone system for hand tool woodworkers for decades. So I'm going to open this up. I've never used one of these before, so I don't know how much to open it up. I'm going to find out together. But I'm going to put this Norton medium India stone, which is about 240 grit. I'm going to put this in this tri-hone. Now making sure that it's fully seated. And I tremble. It'll happen to you sooner or later. Just so you know, I'm just telling you because nobody told me all the stuff that I was going to end up dealing with once I reached a certain age. There's some other stuff as men you should know, but ask your dad, because I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah. Okay, so that is going to be a little fiddly. I think you could probably take that off, but you're not doing that. So I'm going to butt it up against. This thing has, in case you ever get one of these, it has two here that overlap on this stone. Here and here. And then it has one in the center. So what I'm going to do, I've got the center tightened down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it up against these two. And then I'm going to loosen this. So that it drops into place like that. So this would be my coarse stone. It's what I would raise a burr with on my chisels or plane blades. Or a knife, because I will probably use this system sometimes when I'm sharpening knives. This has a well in here. You can fill this well with oil or with water depending on the type of stones that you're using. I will choose not to do that because I work outside and with the wind and stuff like that, and I'm under a tree, that kind of deal, there are going to be all kind of things that are going to drop and fall. And I'm not going to have my stones laying in a basket that's full of grit or anything like that. So that will remain empty, and I will just simply sharpen like that. But I'm just going to tighten these till I get good resistance. I'm not going to crank it down so much that I'm afraid I would chip anything. Of course, you're not going to really chip this stone, but if it was a water stone, you might. So it's not going anywhere. So we'll go there, and then since I'm a lefty, we're going to go like this. And this allows me to add a second stone in my lineup, a third stone, which I've been wanting to do, but I just didn't have the room in my chest to carry both, or all three rather. And that is a soft Arkansas. We're going to put that in between the coarse India, or the medium India rather, that I have already attached. And my finishing stone. Okay, so that's locked down. Yeehaw. We'll tighten them down. Once again, I'm not cranking it down super tight. I'm just turning it until I feel a good resistance. But I'm going to go to each of them in turn, because in my opinion it would be sort of like a bicycle, or not a bicycle, a automobile tire. We're going to adjust. And I messed up because it has coarse, medium, and fine marks. So I'm going to go, this will be my coarse. So it's designed to flip the other way. It really doesn't matter, but I'm going to get a little bit OCD-ish. So we're going to move this to the other side, where it's supposed to be, where they've got it labeled at, rather, however you want to say that. But the medium India is my coarse. The soft Arkansas is my medium. What if I can just back that up and push that? Yeah, I can. Alright, I didn't have to unloosen that. And they loosen a bit, they get looser the tighter you tighten the other screws. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but just like I said, just like changing a tire and tightening the lug nuts on a car. That's kind of the principle I'm going for anyway. Okay, so the last stone in this progression tape on it is the black Arkansas. Now, I have a standard hard and a 1x3, but 3x8 by ½ inch that I might try on here. You could use a translucent or just whatever it is you have. I love Arkansas stones and would love to have an example of every single type. I'm just being honest. But this right here, if you have a black, you don't really need a translucent. If you have a translucent, you don't really need a black. And if you have a true hard, you don't really need a black or a translucent. Honestly, there are going to be different variables between the stones because they are natural, but they are basically you're covered if you just have a true hard or a black or a translucent. So just make that pretty. So now you have alright, this is a Stanley 750 Sweetheart. It's already sharper than snot, but we're going to use this system so you understand. And I have a burr. See, people all the time, oh, these are slow. No, they're not. You don't have to push on them. You don't have to lean into it. Just let the stone cut. It cuts perfectly fine. Okay. That's lovely. I'm going to set that down. And I'm going to clean. My daughter is playing with her mother, so if you hear that, you'll have to deal with that because that's my family. I live in a home. So anyway, I'm going to clean my stone. Then I'm going to flip it over to the medium stone, which is my soft Arkansas. Gorgeous stone. I'm going to find that bevel. And I have a burr actually off of that stone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that bevel. I'm going to pull it back just to see if I have, and there's no burr, so I have removed that burr. So you want to clean your stone. I've had people go, well, you clean your stone too much. There's no such thing. Flat out, you can do what you want with your stones, but I love my stones, and I'll keep my stones nice and clean so that they can be used for the rest of my life till I'm old and dead. That's the way that's going to work. Do you, I'll do me. Oh yeah. So I clean this stone off. That's ready. Oh, by the way, this has a seal on it, so if you put water or oil in it, you don't have to worry about it spilling out. If you decide to use the bath, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap it like this. And I wonder, That's that. And that's a screaming nice edge. Very nice. And so when I get done, I just pick this up. That. And that go in the bottom along with a crayon of chromium oxide for my strap. I have that. I just don't have it in here yet. But it's going. I lock that down. So now when I go out to the bench to do woodworking, I just pick this up and carry it with me. And I have everything I need to sharpen and keep my tools sharp and work wood. Thank you, my friend, for this surprise gift I had no idea was coming. It's greatly appreciated, and I will put it to fantastic use.